Welcome to a special election edition of Go Vote Omaha. This is a candidate forum for the Metropolitan Community College Board of Governors, District 3, presented by the League of Women Voters of Greater Omaha. I'm Jerry Simon, a League member and moderator for the forum. The League of Women Voters never supports or opposes political parties or candidates. We present this forum solely for voter education. Our format is as follows. Each candidate will have a 1-minute opening statement. We'll follow that with questions prepared by the League of Women Voters. The candidates will each have up to 90 seconds to answer every question, and we'll close out the forum by giving the candidates a 1-minute closing statement. A timekeeper will signal our candidates when they have 30 seconds of time remaining and when to stop speaking. Before the forum, the candidates drew lots to determine their initial speaking order, and I will introduce them to you in that order now. They are Jim Trebbien and Maureen Monahan. And we'll begin with opening statements, beginning with Jim.
Yeah, I'm Jim Trebbien, and I'm a candidate for the Metropolitan Community College Board of Governors. I'm a 45-year resident of the Omaha area. I previously was born and raised in Iowa. I came to Omaha after getting a degree in mathematics and serving 2 years in the U.S. Army. And I didn't plan on living here all my life, but I found I loved the Omaha area. After working in the food service restaurant industry for about 15 years, I went to work for the community college and spent 35 years on the faculty and the staff of the community college. I retired 2 years, almost 3 years ago, after working to build the Culinary Institute at Metropolitan Community Colleges. I love the role of community colleges. I think they're integral into the fabric of a community and making sure that people have their jobs that they desired.
Thank you. Maureen.
My name is Maureen Monahan. I'm a candidate for Metro Community College Board District 3. I'm a third-generation Nebraskan who grew up in Omaha. I went to St. Robert's Grade School and Marion High School before going off to college and law school. I worked for 3 years for a state senator in the Nebraska unicameral, and then started practicing law with my dad, Jim Monahan. My interest in education policy stems from watching my dad work for 16 years on the State Board of Education, advocating for children like my brother Danny, who was severely disabled and in the early 70s was denied an education. My dad's efforts made sure that every child across the state had an appropriate education that became a benefit to not just that child or their family, but the entire community. Community colleges carry on that tradition of being a benefit to the entire community, and it's those policies that I will continue as a member of the Community College Board.
Thank you. Here's our first question. What role do corporations play, and should they play, in Metro Community College's future? And we'll begin with Maureen.
Corporations play an important role because they are our employers. But we have to remember that corporations aren't always these huge multinational corporations. There are small family-owned corporations as well, and they all provide jobs across our 4-county area. What we want to do is make sure that we are listening to all of those corporations regardless of size, and also partnerships and other types of businesses to make sure that we are adequately training the workforce of the 21st century for their needs, and that we also are listening to them when they have an opportunity to significantly grow or bring new businesses into the area that would be an economic boon to both the community as well as individuals who would work there, to be able to provide the training that they would need to be able to grow and build new businesses.
Thank you. Jim.
Yeah. Corporations not only give internship possibilities to our students, but they hire our students. They can provide funding for programs. When I was with the faculty and the dean at the community college in Metro, I worked very closely with all industries and within the food restaurant industry as well as outside of it, and established strong relationships, and it would also cause them to send many of their employees to the college to become trained or maybe even get a degree. So without the assistance and help of the companies and corporations in the Omaha area, the community college would not thrive at all.
Thank you. Here's our next question. If you are elected to the Metro Board, what do you see as the top 3 priorities facing Metropolitan Community College? And we'll start with Jim.
The top three priorities would be funding, to make sure the community college is adequately funded. The big issue with that is probably state funding. Currently, we send a lot of our money out of the four-county area to help other community colleges in the state. Making sure the faculty are strong and have the opportunities to grow and thrive and be on the cutting edge. And as time goes on, the college in the past 6-7 years has done an amazing job of providing good facilities, but that will be a continuing emphasis to make sure all programs that are viable have the facilities that are needed to present excellent education to the students.
Thank you. Maureen.
The number one thing we should be doing is making sure that we are assessing the current needs of our four-county area and anticipating where it's going to grow. Right now, we don't have any facilities in Washington County outside of providing classes in partnership with some of the existing facilities that are not Metro facilities there. We also need to make sure that funding is appropriate, that we are getting our fair share of state aid to the community colleges. Right now, we are being shortchanged in that area. We also have to make sure that our facilities and our tuition are both accessible and affordable to the students who want to use those facilities. Making sure that we have all of those things covered, as well as making sure that we are responsive to all three of those funding priorities is an important thing as a board member.
Thank you. Next question. Should Metro expand the English as a second language programs? And if yes, how would you do that? If no, why not? And we'll begin with Maureen.
English as a second language has become a bigger part of our community, both locally in the Omaha metro area as well as statewide. Whether it's K through 12, community college, or other education providers, we have to train the workforce that exists here. If English as a second language is required to train that workforce and also to train them for future education opportunities, our whole community will benefit from English as a second language. Being able to do that, of course, requires funding, and we're going to have to look to federal funding, state funding, community funding, as well as what grants or other fundraising opportunities there are to help pay for that English as a second language.
Thank you. Jim.
English as a second language, as well as anything that impedes a student from learning, has to be addressed by the community college. If a student comes there, or even if they don't come there, they should know about the opportunities to grow and become an integral part of our community and add to the workforce, or be able to get a promotion or a new job that they're looking for. My daughter is a first grade teacher in the Omaha Public School District, and she tells me that many of the students come that do need extra work, and throughout the school district, not just in the elementary school, but and sometimes the school districts aren't able to provide that help they need, and sometimes to their parents too. So I agree that everything needs to be done to offer the education that any student needs to succeed.
Thank you. This will be our last question. Is the teaching staff paid adequately at Metro? Would you support salary studies and increases in pay? And is the salary structure keeping MCC from retaining the brightest staff? And we'll start with Jim.
Well, the faculty negotiate their salary every year, and they use a wide array of other community colleges when they do that. I would not be against a wider study to make sure that they are paid adequately. If not, then that should be brought up to whether they're paid adequately. But my guess is that we would find that the salary is pretty comparable to faculty at other community colleges. I think that it's necessary to have the cutting edge faculty. You need to pay them in order to keep them at the college, which we want to do. Metropolitan Community College is thought of as a leader nationally in community colleges, and so I would be for anything that would keep us at that point.
Thank you. Maureen.
My mother was a teacher and my sister is a teacher, and I can tell you unequivocally that teachers across the board are not paid what their value is to our community. I would absolutely support increasing either the salary or the benefits, whichever they deem is appropriate. But we also have to identify the funding source. But we want to make sure we keep the best teachers at Metro Community College. We also have to look at the fact that there are 250 full-time faculty and about 900 adjunct faculty. Many adjunct faculty want to stay adjunct faculty, but they are paid less and they don't get full benefits. We want to make sure we keep good adjunct faculty, and we want to make sure that if you start off as an adjunct faculty and you want to become a full-time faculty, that there is a way to do that, that you're not always in one realm or the other. We want to make sure we keep the best people to train the best students and the best workforce for this Omaha metro area.
Thank you. We'll now go to closing statements and give the candidates up to 2 minutes if they would like for their closing statement. And we'll begin with Maureen Monahan.
My name is Maureen Monahan, a candidate for Metro Community College District number 3. It runs northwest Omaha, roughly from 680 in center all the way to the Dodge County and Washington County border. It also includes all of Washington County. We have to make sure that Metro Community College continues to train the workforce of the 21st century by listening to the local community and the students who attend Metro to make sure that we are providing the education they need to have good jobs and grow our community economically. We also have to make sure that property taxes and tuition are the lowest part of our funding opportunities, and we have to fight to change our state aid formula at the legislature. As someone who worked for 3 years in the state legislature, I can tell you that I know how to do that, and it would be one of my priorities as a board member. We are shortchanged on the state aid formula as the largest community college population. I also would fight to make sure that we are properly addressing the growing population of Washington County with added programs and possibly a new facility. It is the only county in the 4-county area that does not have its own facility. I want to make sure that Metro Community College continues to be a benefit to its students and our community. And I'm not just a board member, I'm a taxpayer. I want to make sure that every tax dollar goes into an appropriate funding source. We want to make sure that there are no wasted dollars, because as a taxpayer, I don't want my tax dollars wasted. I would ask for your vote. Monahan for Metro. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Jim Trebbien.
Yes, I have a lot of experience on serving on different boards and a lot of experience working with budgets. I worked for 30 years with the community college and also always presented a reasonable but forward-looking budget to work with my department. I do understand the budget constraints on the community colleges that Metro's, the 4-county area sends a lot of taxpayer money and state aid money goes to other community colleges throughout the state that we pay, plus we pay totally for our own community college here. So we do need to work on state funding. We need to keep tuition low and reasonable, but very much part of a student's education. I believe that we can do a lot more with fundraising. Our current President Randy Schmazel has raised millions of dollars to put up new buildings, and I would think that is going to continue as we need more and more facilities to train people in higher technical, higher skilled jobs than in the past. I would be a strong advocate for reasonable and maybe even decreasing property taxes. I know that that's a large burden, especially on many people that are on limited incomes. And I would be a strong advocate for faculty and to make sure that all programs have a path to grow on. Thank you.
Thank you. This concludes our forum for Metro Community College District 3 Board of Governors. The League would like to thank both the candidates for participating in the forum. For the League of Women Voters, I'm Jerry Simon, reminding you to inform yourself about the issues and the candidates, and on Tuesday, November 6th, go vote Omaha.